Good morning, folks. What's up? Check, 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 check. We are here to talk about the truth about what's going on in anti-war action. That's a fact, yeah? You're going to see people who don't have my body of expertise, who don't have my body of work, who's going to tell me how I don't know about activism, or they're going to tell me the right way to do activism. Meanwhile, what have they accomplished, yeah? I'm going to point today, right, there's a lot of people that are going to make money, right? There's a commercialization of art, there's a commercialization of activism. If you want to know, right, there's people going around right now. We're going to see if they go into the building or not, you know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is that, right, they just don't want to be involved. The fact of the matter is that when we talk about real activism, when you talk about real victim, today I want to tell you about the truth about anti-war activism. The fact of the matter is that the music industry has gatekeepers, and the political activism world is no different. Some people are raised up while others are shut out. If you think that the Puff Daddy world, if you think that the Puff Daddy world, that everything in the activism world is just like easy and legit, I'm sorry to say it's not. I have the proof right here. You're gonna see actually, right, there's actually, in my office they're having a Palestine, and I actually support Palestine. My body of work shows this. You're gonna see people come out here and accuse me of being a Zionist supporter. Go ahead. Let's see their body of work. Let's see what they've done on the issue. What matters is that I'm getting in the way of the money. What matters is that I'm getting in the way of the truth right here. Hey, miss, you want to find out about the truth about anti-war activism? I'd like to tell you right now. There's a lot of funny things going on. I'm going to break it down for the live stream right now, but if you guys have some time to listen, I really would appreciate it, yeah?
You have to hop into the market. We'll come back.
You have to hop into the market. You'll be back? Okay, we'll see. There's a lot of times, I'm going to tell you straight up, there's a lot of lies that get told to people like myself, and there's some people whose messages matter, some people whose messages don't. Let's talk. Check, check. Is this on? Check, check. Is this on? Let me tell you right now that a lot of the activism is controlled, straight up, yeah? First of all, right here, the anti-war movement regularly excludes even white war victims. Okay, notice that when you have the anti-war protests and stuff like that, right? There's a lot of millionaires like djelf7, like, you know, people making money off of it, right? People like Medea Benjamin. You look up their net worth, it's in the millions of dollars. djelf7 is not just in the 1%, she's in the top 5% of the 1%. Yeah, what's up, brother? If you want to find out the truth about anti-war activism, please, sir. Yeah? I'm sorry to say, but black liberals and white liberals are joined together to actually stomp on war victims and Asian Americans. This is true, too. Let's take a look at the stuff going on at Columbia University, right? They're just walking in. They don't care. The Columbia University right here, the student activist movement is manipulated and controlled. Young people's energies are sucked into protest, but they are prevented from doing activism on other fronts, from engaging with experienced activists like myself. So the state assembly district was won by the open candidate supported by the pro-Israel Solidarity PAC, Michael Lasher. That happened in the 69th district, which is actually where Columbia University is. They got all these kids rearing up, right, feeling good about themselves, taking selfies of themselves, right, highly emasculated, by the way, right? But the fact of the matter is, by keeping the anti-war community focused on only certain parts of the fight, the gatekeepers assure failure at other crucial points of the fight. They assure failure for experienced activists like myself. If you want to find out about the truth about anti-war activism, I'm saying that a lot of it is fake. The student activism is manipulated and controlled. Columbia 1,000 kids here. Look at the results. The only candidate supported by the pro-Israeli PAC, Michael Lasher, was voted in. Instead of getting these kids, they support certain parts of activism. I'm not mad at the rallies, but they prevent actually activism from occurring on the things that matter, such as elections and others like that. I'm an actual war victim. How many war victims have you seen at the actual rallies? It's kind of weird, right? The thing is that when victims are silenced and pushed aside by celebrities and academics, when activists are replaced with artists and actors and pretty faces instead of experienced actors with a visible body of work, and people of natural stature built up by the media, you know the activism is not the true activism, it's the activism of the devil, straight up. Malcolm X talks about his message to the grassroots, and over here you can see that the president of, they say never forget. Let's talk about Namibia, the place of the Second Reich, where we don't care about the victims because they're African. 1918 is when the Second Reich ended. That's the end of the World War I. But we don't care about those victims because they're black. We should be teaming up together, the Namibians, the Koreans, and the Palestinians, but this is prevented. We are siloed off. We are prevented from working together by people that got something to gain, by people that's making money off of our suffering. I'm dead serious. I challenge anybody to come up and take on what I bring up right here. And while they have these people doing these fundraisers, I'm not saying it's all bad, but while they have these people doing these fundraisers right here, they're actually restructuring history. The Asian American curriculum, which is now mandatory in New York City schools, has erased all history of the word Palestine or Palestinian. But they're not going to talk about that. In fact, when someone tries to bring it up, they're silenced. What's up with that? What's up with that, right? Yeah? They make sure that the activism remains controlled. They make sure that activism only happens in certain aspects, and I'm going to show you right here, the bougie liberals, right? Not saying they all bad, but they're not all good either. But they will not listen to a voice like mine. They will not listen to someone out here speaking certain truths, because the thing is that they got something to gain. So war victims like myself, war victims from Namibia, shout out to Congo. I just seen that they was talking about genocide in their country. They will not allow us to work together. Instead, you see the white liberal millionaires controlling the movement and emasculating the movement. Go to AMP New Jersey, go to PSA New York, and look at the footage that they have and ask yourselves why all the people displayed are female. Why all the speakers are female. I'm not mad at women getting involved. They should be a part of this. But they're being put into place by white gatekeepers. I swear to God it's true. I dare them to prove me wrong. That's why they can't have a conversation with me right now. White and black liberals working together to team up to re-victimize war victims. Even white war victims do not get acknowledged. Even white war victims like Russians, Ukrainians, you will not see them at the war rallies talk about the cultural shock, talking about who do you think cares more about actually getting progress on this issue? A war victim like me, or the white bougies who are just jumping on the issue of the moment and riding that to make some money and some brand recognition, while keeping the people like myself in the toilet, while keeping real activists like myself sweating outside while they inside an air-conditioned market. That's fine. They're going to have some performers inside. Those performers, unfortunately, will not include me, and I got all the receipts to back that up. Look at this picture right here. This is a picture of, it looks like it's all good, right? Remember that song, We Are the World? We Are the Children? When blacks and Jews got together to sing that song with no Asian Americans whatsoever and no Asians whatsoever, those black people would later go on to cry out about discrimination. They would later go on to cry out about how the industry treated them wrong and bad. Black people, you're going into a trap. I'm telling you right now. What's up, bro? Hey, want to find out the truth about war activism?
I wish I got a run, man. I'm working next door. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Yeah. Look, it's not all bad, but it's not all good. There's some real truth that they're not willing to acknowledge. And we're going to talk about it today outside in this heat, because I don't care. I'm a war victim. But for some reason, the voices of war victims are continuously suppressed all across the entire anti-war movement. And I'm going to say right now, that's sad to say, Miss, you got a moment to listen to a war victim? I'm a Korean American.
I'm
no?
sorry, I'm working a job.
You're working a job. Okay, I see. Right? Yeah, I see. They're working a job. They ain't got time for me. Watch them all walk in. Yeah, the bougie liberals. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you, who cares? Korea's on the same line as Palestine. But notice that you don't see us really involved. Right? Yeah? Why don't we listen to war victims speak about our work, right? Once again, talking about actual Columbia College, right? Yeah? Instead of working on actually beating the state assembly member, Michael Asher, the only candidate supported by the pro-Israel Solidarity PAC, right, at Columbia University, all those thousands of kids of voting age. Instead of doing that, the professors who have sold out, right, who are selling out their futures with ridiculously high tuition rates, those I'm a professor, as they scream as they go to the floor. What? Are those professors activists? What do those professors achieve besides having a cushy job at some university that charges the students way too much and is killing them with their overpriced tuition? Instead of actually mobilizing those students, they got them outside setting up tents. I'm not saying that's all bad, but they're controlled. The anti-war activist movement is controlled. And only certain types of activism are legitimized. And I'm sorry to say that Asian women, you saw one pass by right now, a lot of times they are in league. They are in league with the white, they get a way up. And you see a lot of, I point out in other videos on my channel about how Asian women are often weaponized against Asian men, whether you want to believe it or not. Elijah Women, in a seminal work called Message to the Black Man, talk about the emasculation of the black man, but now they allow black men to be sexually, desirable. So now black people have dropped out of the fight, and now it's Asian Americans and Dominicans fighting against passport brides all on our own. That's what happens to war victims. There's also passport pride going on in the Ukraine. We're also victimized, right? But you know what? Those issues will not be addressed. Those issues will not be talked about. And once again, I want to tell you that this is happening during Pride Month. I am a supporter of trans people. Trans people are being victimized just the way Koreans were during LA riots, which has also been deleted from the Hidden Voices mandatory Asian American curriculum. I'm going to tell you right now that Salamander Brandy, a mayoral candidate, trans mayoral candidate, historical mayoral candidate, running in Memphis, Tennessee, where Tyree Nichols just died. Tyree Nichols just died, but I'm going to tell you right now that they got gay people, they got trans people up here deliberately sandbagging knowledge about Salamander Brandy's historical run. By the way, she was shot out by Justin Pearson, sandbagging her campaign so they could monopolize the money and the access. I swear to God, it's true. Look at my body of work. Salamander Brandy is not the only trans person I've worked with. I understand because my people have also been targeted for victims of lefty rage or right rage, whatever. I'm telling you, the lefts and the rights, the whites and the black liberals, the white and the black conservatives teaming up on us. War victims, white and black war victims combined. And while they're having this fundraiser, where's the fundraiser for potentially the first 10 associate president for public housing to run for office in the 69th district? There was no energy for that. What about the second longest wrongfully incarcerated man in New York State history, Reverend Keith Gadsden, who just awarded me at the Fortune Society is getting $80 million a year, but has no money for me, Reverend Keith Gadsden. Where's the energy for that? Nope. They got energy for the little market right here. I imagine the market they got to live too. But I'm telling you that right now they're going to have some performers inside. Those performers will not include a war victim like me, will not include war victims from Russia or the Ukraine. Maybe they'll have a Palestinian there, maybe. But why are the Palestinians being kept siloed off from other war victims? I want to know. And I can't wait for an Asian award. There's an Asian American we can see right there called Paul Rowe, Ebbs and Flows by Yu Chen. If you want to find out some of the truth about anti-war activism, people in the Congo are having genocide right now. Black people are also being victimized. They don't care. I'm going to tell you right now, this is that Bushwick type of activism. This is that gentrifier type of act. You can't gentrify the activism. Are you crazy? You want to find out the truth about the anti-war movement? I got some things to say, sir. You going to the art market? Listen, there's some truths here. You got a second to listen, sir? I'm a real one. I know I don't look like an activist. I know I don't look legit like the people inside. I know I'm not pretty like them. But guess what? My body of work just is proving it. People inside gonna call me, while my people starve like Ethiopia. There's no energy to help them. I'm not against the Palestinian movement. As a Korean, our country is on the same timeline. But notice that the leadership, not saying there's a lot of Palestinians that sympathize with me, but the leadership of the Palestinians got them wrapped up with that white money bullshit. I swear to God it's true. And when I have a chance to speak today, they decided that there's no room for me. They're going to have some white, maybe some black liberal performers playing their rock music or their neo soul or whatever. There's a lot of hypocrisy in this, believe it or not. I'm telling you right now that certain activism is allowed to progress, but certain activism is prevented from actually occurring, such as actual mobilization that could actually win races. They protested outside for what? They protested outside for what? To be heard by the elected officials? They could be those elected officials. But hell no. Hell no. Because when it's time for action to occur on that end, it's all shut down. And when it's time for the Asian American curriculum, Edward Said, a Palestinian American who coined the term Orientalism itself in the first place. When Edward Said is erased from the Asian American curriculum, notice that where are the Palestinians at? They've been controlled by the white money leadership. I swear to God it's true. And even though people from the Congo are crying about genocide, black people are walking in without even taking a second look at this sign. Because they've entered into a relationship and they've entered into an agreement with the white power and the money. I was recently at an event with the Black Panthers, shout out to Panther Shep Cat, and they said that black people didn't realize that they were running into a burning house. A burning house. Yeah. They joined, I'm not saying all white people bad, but I am saying that they don't get to replace us. I'm telling you right now that war victims are being excluded. So go ahead, walk in and ignore my voice. I'm just a war victim. I'm only working with Namibians, right? A presidential candidate running for the president of Namibia, the victims of the Second Reich. They say never forget. They forgot about the victims of the Second Reich, whose genocide, really, the Second Reich ended in 1918 at the end of World War I. It's not that long ago. Folks, you got time to hear about the truth about anti-war activism, please. I have some truths to tell you about it. I know I'm kind of, there's some first of all, activism only allowed to happen on certain fronts, but it's not allowed to stress on others. Look at the 59th district where Columbia is. The state, they don't care. Let's document all of it, yeah? You saw that? I'm telling you right now, PSL, People's Forum, all this kind of bougie garbage. I'm not saying that I don't appreciate them being here. I'm not saying they all bad. But I am saying, where are the war victims and why are we excluded? Watch more people driven up in their Ubers and their fancy SUVs, but where's it while I'm begging on these streets? Because that's the truth for an actual anti-war victim. For a war victim that's an anti-war activist. They ain't got time for people that suffer. They ain't got time for actual victims. They got time to look at some trinkets and spend some money and be around other hip, cool people that are pretty, not like me. You want to find about the truth about anti-war activism? I got the truth right here. I got the body of work. Let them call me a Zionist. Look at my body of work. People in the Congo right now are crying out about, right, this guy's going to rent a unit inside. Go ahead, man. I could hook you up with other people that's been gentrified out of this community, right? Gentrification is not permitted in the activism world. It just doesn't work. I'm sorry to say. Gentrify activism. Look at my body of work as in terms of the anti-war movement. 25 years in the game. I'm telling you right now, there's no room for me here, and this isn't the only place. These people have a set of biases that have been programmed into them by programs like Democracy Now!, by Jimmy Dore, by People's Forum and other bougie-ass communist liberals that don't care about the actual victims. I'm going to shout out Rodney Stone from the Funky 4+1, the only mixed male and female hip-hop group, the first female-male hip-hop group in history. I'm going to shout out another guy from the Sugar Hill label. His name is the Surgeon General of Rap, Superius. Both bumped off the Medicare for All activism by these same people, by these same gatekeepers in the activism world. You think gatekeeping is only happening in the entertainment world? Are you crazy? The reason why they do the gatekeeping in the entertainment world is to affect the political world. To gatekeep and to manage, right? Yeah? Miss, do you have time to listen to about the truth about anti-war activism? I'm just a war victim. She knows I'm fake because I don't look like an activist to these people. Real activists are pretty. Real activists are white or black, not like me. This is ridiculous. Thank you, sir. Yeah? I'm going to show you right here. Once again, the people at Columbia, they feel so good about themselves. Why did they lose the race in the district? Look at how many thousands of people are here on campus setting up tents. Some activists allowed to go forward. The activism that makes a lot of noise and looks good on the TV. But some activism that actually accomplishes stuff that would actually make a change, all that activism is prevented from happening. Who knows better? A war victim like myself who spent his lifetime fighting against war? Or these bougie liberals that decided that, show me their body of work fighting against war and tell me why they're fighting against war. I got the pictures right here. I'm bringing it up to the camera, right? Yeah, look at this from 2021. This is me documenting. I have work that goes before that. And this, you got time to listen about the truth about anti-war activism? Nope, they don't. You got time to, because I don't look like an activist. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now, it's real sad. They're laughing at me. Go ahead, laugh at me. I'm just a war victim. I'm just working with Namibia. I'm just working with Congo. I've just emailed every single Asian and African country in the, on Earth. This is all documented on my channel. But they know I'm a fake activist. You know why? They know I'm a fake activist because I don't look like an activist. I'm not. I haven't been approved by the white money. Is this another Asian woman going to go in with while ignoring an Asian brother, while ignoring a victim of war the Chinese and the Koreans are not the same. The Koreans have suffered way more. Miss, you got a moment to listen about anti-war activism? About the truth about anti-war activism? Okay, no they don't. There's no solidarity with the poor. There's no solidarity with people. Some people are allowed in. Some people get to be a part of the movement, not me. Malcolm X said it himself, the slave master took Tom and dressed him and fed him well and even gave him a little education. He takes a Negro, a so-called Negro, and makes the same, and makes him prominent, builds him up, publicizes him, makes him a celebrity, and then he becomes a spokesman for Negroes and a Negro leader. I would like to mention quickly that this method that the white man used, how the white man used to create country for Negro leaders against the Black Revolution. They are not part of the Black Revolution. They are used against the Black Revolution. And I'm speaking to all my brothers out there in Africa and Asia, because we know, I'm just showing you that this is not, the problem is not the leadership, the problem is American society. I'm showing you right now, right? You see these people walking away, right? You see this? The problem, they want to say the problem is Biden, they want to say the problem is Trump. No, it's not. The problem is them. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about war victims like you and me. Go to your bougie market. Go ahead. While war victims suffer outside. I'm not saying you don't get to go inside, but why don't you listen to me? I'm not saying that everything they're doing is faulty or wrong. I believe there's some good hearts behind this, but the fact of the matter is that certain activism is shut out, and certain activism is not allowed to occur. So can you have a moment to listen about a second about the truth about anti-war activism? Some activism, like you look at Columbia University, they do all the protests, it looks so hot, but actual mobilization does not occur. How can they thousands of voting age students on campus, but there's no actual, the one candidate who's supported by the Israel PAC is actually the one who gets voted in. If this is a democracy, then there's no way that this should happen. There's no way, unless the anti-war movement is controlled and gatekept, unless the narrative is controlled just like Puff Daddy world, and unless regular people like you see going inside this facility and coming outside of this facility, unless they engage in willful ignorance, unless they refuse to listen to actual victims of war. Once again, the most committed. I'm not saying that the rallies are bad or wrong, but it is wrong to only have the activism and only have the money go towards those particular issues while starving actual activists trying to work on mobilization, while trying to engage people from Korea has some of the first, let's talk about Ron Kim, Grace Lee, Linda Lee, the first Korean American elected officials in New York City history could be in solidarity with the Palestinian war movement. But why aren't they? Because I swear to God, you've heard of the phrase Great White Hope? Yeah, Great White Hope, right? They want to have a white activist or maybe a black activist because they don't want to be called racist. Meanwhile, people in the Congo are screaming about genocide. Screaming. What about Ethiopia and Eritrea? Shout out to my allies there too, that have just uncovered the narrative BS lies that caused the revolution in that country that this country is not talking about. I want to shout out to my peoples in West Africa that are about to break free of French control, that these people may or may not know about. Once again, why are we working in solidarity? Because the gatekeepers are making sure that our movements do not move together. They are making sure that let's go and see who's inside, right? Yeah, let's go and see what they have. Some artists in there, probably they've had bands all week. I've recorded them. They have cool bands, white DJs. You see that DJ in there? It ain't djelf7 though. Sorry, yeah? It ain't djelf7. I'm telling you right now, they book certain artists. And they could, the narrative is controlled on this anti-war movement. And I have, once again, right, what is my body of work on this issue? It's very deep. So once again, I'm gonna show the world, right, yeah? They can laugh at me, they can be scared to be with me. I'm telling you, countries all around the world, how can you actually turn down nuclearization? when these people are the anti-war allies you're hoping for. This video right here, 2021. Look at this right here. Real path to peace in Ukraine. Noam Chomsky, Jeremy Corbyn, Jill Stein, Vijay Prashad, Brian Becker, Eugene Purvier, Claudia De La Cruz, and Medea Benjamin. Where's the Russians and Ukrainians at? You cannot have peace in these countries without talking to people living there. This is the most ridiculous thing ever. And once again, where are the war victims when we talk about anti-war activism? Why are we excluded? I'm going to tell you why. Because the anti-war activism is being controlled by the gatekeepers. You ain't got to believe me. Once again, let's read another passage from Malcolm X. Message to the grassroots. As soon as they got the setup, okay, it was the grassroots out there in the street. Rep my block. We're actually mobilizing communities, public housing, people with disabilities. Right? Shout out to Russell from Douglas Houses. Shout out to 10 associate presidents I know all over, Carmen Hernandez. I'm actually mobilizing actual communities, the grassroots in the street. Scared the white man to death. Scared the white power structure in D.C. to death, and I was there. Call it off, Kennedy said. Look, you all letting this thing go too far. And old Tom said, boss, I can't stop it because I didn't start. I'm telling you what they said. They said, I'm not even in it, much less at the head of it. They said, these Negroes is doing things on their own. They're running ahead of us. And that old true fox, he said, well, if you aren't in it, I'll put you in it. I'll put you at the head of it. I'll endorse it. I'll welcome it. I'll help it. I'll join it. Eugene Purvier, Claudia De La Cruz from PSL, I'm talking to you. When's the last time you helped someone of color? I want to know. And how'd you help them? I got a body of work. Shout out to Mutio John Musaber, one of the longest wrongful incarcerated men in the U.S. history. We're bringing a coalition of actual victims, including a representative for Gavin Cintrone, who just died at Reese Houses, causing the departure of Greg Russ, the head of the CEO and chair of NYCHA. But notice that they have performers inside. They got no time for me. None. Because they gotta raise up other activists. I'm not a real activist, even though I got 25 years in the game. You heard what I had. And Cambridge, as soon as they got the setup organized, look, I'm not saying all white man, but the white man made available to them top public relations expert opened the news media across the country at their disposal. And then they began to project these big six as the leaders of the march. Originally, they wasn't even in the march. Show me the body of work. Show me the body of work. But the white man put the big six at the head of it, made them the march. They became the march. They took it over. I think that people at this event may have good intentions, but they've been leaned on, or things have been structured to prevent my work with this event. Things have been structured to provide the illusion of Asian inclusion. Right here, they got Paul Rowe and Eunice Chen. The last time Eunice Chen had an event here, I recorded that. There was no Asian man here. There was none. But now they got one because they know I've been making an issue of it. This is the thing, right? They get to reset as many times as they want. They get to copy your work and duplicate it and put a prettier face on it and put more money and marketing behind it. But what they cannot do is recreate my body of work. I mean, they can try right now. I hope they actually make some progress. But actual progress on the matter, once again, some activism is allowed to go forward, like these rallies on the street. But some activism, like actual mobilization, like actually winning races, that's not allowed to go forward. Some activism, like putting together Koreans and Palestinians and Congos and Namibians, that's not allowed to happen. We are not allowed to reach critical mass in that methodology. Nope. Not at all. This is the truth about anti-war activism. I'm a war victim. I'm a generational war victim. But our suffering is not acknowledged. Ever since the Vietnam War, the CIA has been covering up all the suffering. They covered up all the footage of the bodies, the bloody bodies lying around. Now people don't believe that we've suffered. They think that we haven't suffered. It's garbage. So let me tell you about the truth about anti-war activism. Some of the activism is allowed to go forward. Some of the activism is prevented. Look at the 69th district, which where Columbia is. The only candidate who was supported by the Israel PAC won his race. Why? Because the students are not being mobilized. The students want to be with the cool people. They want to be inside with the people that get to have the mic. They want to have career opportunities. Not like me. Notice that despite my body work 25 years on the gig right here, despite working with some of the longest wrongfully incarcerated men in New York State and national history and being backed up by them, notice that I have no place here. I'm gonna look up, right? Yeah, we'll see if they make it public, right? Who's actually performing today? Let's see their body work and what they've accomplished and why they're given the mic. I want to know. Like Ice Cube said, it's not necessarily these people are bad at heart. But they should be talking to me, but they're not. Because guardrails are placed on the activism movement to make sure that some messages are heard and some messages are suppressed. And once again, if there was more war victims involved with the activism going on, then there's no way that this could progress like this. There's no way that this level of fakery going on that's preventing the anti-war movement from winning in this country will be allowed to go forward because we're too close to it. We're actual victims. But no war victims are at the top. Nope. The leadership, they control who gets to be in the leadership, and they work with the money. And I'm not saying all white people bad. They should be part of the movement. I appreciate white people. But they don't get to replace us. Stop gentrifying activism. This is ridiculous. You cannot gentrify activism. Stop commercializing art. There's a place for commercial art, there's a place for commercial activism. I mean, I guess. I mean, honestly, commercialism and activism kind of fight against each other. But there has to be a place for non-commercial activists like myself. There's got to be a place for that. Otherwise, the activism, it's a setup, and it's an activism of the devil. Malcolm X talked about this in Message to the Grassroots. But that's a message they won't be playing today if they're, if I was on that DJ set, you know I'd be playing clips of Malcolm X in the set, not here. There's certain truths they cannot talk about. I'm an anti-war activist. Find about the truth about anti-war activism. Some of the activists are allowed to proceed forward, but some of the activists not. Look at Columbia University. They're allowed to protest outside. They're not allowed to mobilize and actually win their elections. The activism is controlled, and only certain things are allowed to progress forward. You think that only the music world has Puff Daddy and is controlled like that? Check it out, folks. More people going in. They ain't got time for me. Once again, working with some of the longest wrongfully incarcerated men in New York State and national history. Reverend Keith Gadsden, Nolan Farrell. We're doing an event soon with Yusef Salaam. I can't be mad at him. Look at my body of work. I ain't afraid. Look at the interview right there with the guy running for president of Namibia, the victims of the Second Reich. It would be great if someone from this event could come out and talk with me, or maybe even, give me a place to make a presentation, to tell people about what's going on. I have been denied this opportunity. I'm telling you right now, folks, the anti-war activism, I'm not against everything happening here today. I hope the money's going to the right place. By the way, I've been following this issue for a long time. There's a lot of Palestinian, pro-Palestinian groups that are actually based in Israel. Dead serious. It's called astroturfing. I hope they found the real ones. Maybe they did. Once again, the best way for them to do that is to work with other war victims from other countries. They could even be white ones. Russians and Ukrainians. But honestly, right, don't let it get too white. You need to talk to Namibians, Eritreans, Ethiopians, people from the Congo, Taiwan, Korea, China, Malaysia, all these countries getting their governments interfered with by the same U.S. power, but we can't get together. Why? Even when I talk about the Congo, you see the black people walking in because they've been, I'm telling you, white liberals and black liberals working together. The we talked about, right? Yeah. Message to the grassroots about how the Malcolm X talked about how certain, and some of them mean well. I like the lady who, they got a black lady involved in this. I think she means well. She always did me right. She never did me wrong. But certain people decided that I don't get to have a voice at today's event. I'm telling you, this is not the only place. DSL People's Forum. The long game is they're erasing Palestine from history. The Asian American curriculum, look it up, it's called Hidden Voices. Look up Hidden Voices Asian American Curriculum and see that Palestine and Palestinians, there's no P-A-L-E-S-T. Do the search, I showed it on the screen right there. They're erasing them from history. So while they got these people, thinking that they're doing a great job for activism, you want to find out about the truth about anti-war activism, sir? No? That you're good? Okay, I understand. Yeah? No, I'm telling you that the anti-war movement is being stopped by actually, look at Colombia. Thousands of students in the streets, but why can't they win their election? Because they're being managed. You think Puff Daddy world isn't, you think the same control that's going on in Puff Daddy world isn't going on in the activism world? They ain't got time for that, right? Yeah? Look, they're beautiful people. They have a life to live, you know what I mean? That's why you need war victims to be involved. You cannot have exclusively bougies. They're not wrong. They're not wrong. They have not been they got their own problems. They have their own problems. I'm not saying that my priorities should be their priorities. It shouldn't. But you cannot have anti-war activism while excluding people that have been affected by war from the event. And if weird things are going on and these people do not listen, I'm telling you it's a setup and an activism of the devil. Let's go and listen to some of that cool music they're playing inside. Ooh, is that Erykah Badu? They want to have a good time. They're not war victims like me. I get it, right? Yeah. They want to just have a cool weekend, feel good about themselves. And this is why things have progressed, things have degraded to this level. The problem, once again, is not Biden or Trump. The problem is the disregard of American society itself. These people are inside. You want to blame Biden or Trump and say they're the bad guys? They could never have power unless these people let it happen. And this happens in the medical field. This happens in it happens in the housing. I'm an activist in wrongful incarcerations. All the and disabilities, all the communities that I work with, the little people, the alpha stand for the little people, the people that get left behind, the people they don't have time to listen to. If I went inside there, you think I see one person, you think I see someone with disabilities in there? You think I see people that are poor in there? The history of Namibia is being erased. Black victims of the Second Reich. Black people will just walk inside. They're not really going to listen. Hey, you want to find out about anti-war activism and how it's actually there's gatekeeping going on, and it's not everything it's cooked up to be, man. Find out about anti-war activism, sir. It's not everything it's cooked up to be. You have a moment to hear about the truth here? The thing is that I already know how this works. I've done this for 25 years. I'm not like a stupid guy coming out here. Some of my friends, they helped me too many times, but this is being sent to all the countries of Asian Africa, and all these we want to denuclearize. How can you trust these people? How can you trust them? What's up, brother? You guys second to hear about the truth about anti-war activism?
I'm good, thanks.
You're good? Okay, but it could have a real effect on, world peace. Like, nuclear bombs. Like, 70% of South Koreans want to have nuclear bombs now? 71% of South Koreans now support the return of nuclear weapons to their country, even if it means developing their own. The problem isn't Trump and Biden. The problem is this. The problem is these people that don't care. We're going to keep standing out here. We're going to keep making noise. They tried to close the door earlier. Maybe they'll close it now. That's all right, sir. Check it out. Why is the student activism manipulated and controlled? Young people's energy is such to protest, but they're prevented from engaging with experienced activists. And so the state assembly that Columbia was in, the 69th Assembly District, the only candidate supported by the Israel PAC, the Solidarity PAC, Michael Lasher, won office. These students are not being mobilized to win the races. Nope. They're mobilized to go outside and take photo ops for Instagram. 71% of South Koreans, not North Koreans, 71 South Koreans want a nuclear bomb because we're so tired of the lies and the disregard of the society that you see right here. I ain't got time for that. Like, you know, Palestinian, right? If you think that the action around the anti-war and around the Palestine thing is real, it's completely controlled. I'm telling you once again, I'm gonna say it over and over again. We're gonna take this together. We're gonna put it all together. But the problem is not Trump or Biden. The problem is these people, American society. And I'm not gonna say it's all their fault. They've allowed themselves to be trained like they watch TV, they watch Puff Daddy, they've watched all this fake ass entertainment, and they've been brainwashed. Just like drill music, they've been brainwashed. I don't look like a real actress, even though I'm a war victim, and that's why they don't listen to me. Hey, Miss, want to find out the truth about the anti-war movement? If you just have a moment, ma'am, I would really appreciate it. Please, yeah. I'm a victim of war. I know I cannot rely on American society to help me. That's why this is going to be emailed to the United Nations. But we're not stopping there. The petrodollar has already fallen. That's right. We're going to also send this to all the, that I know there's like an Asia version of NATO. We're going to email this to them too, so they can all see this too. This is straight garbage. Look at this. When they sung "We Are the World," there was no Asians involved in that, even though Chinese are 1/4 of the world population. Later, the black people that participated in the "We Are the World" song, Michael Jackson, they would cry out about the discrimination that they faced from the gatekeepers that they were performing with. The white people needed legitimacy, so they grabbed some black faces. Is that true? Sir, I'm talking about the truth about the anti-war movement, yeah? The fact of the matter is that I'm a war victim, but it's not acknowledged. I'm gonna tell you right now, just so there's victims in the Congo screaming about genocide right now. Why aren't we working together, people from the Congo, Korea, and Palestine? Because the white millionaire socialist leaders want to keep everything under their control. They want to keep making money off the movement. And there's no money to share. Once again, I'm a supporter of gay and trans people. But I'm telling you right now that they're being weaponized against the rest of the movement. You'll see that they're being used as like a trump card. So the thing is that when someone like a war victim like myself goes to anti-war rally and says, "Hey, what's up? Something here is off," they'll have a black trans person up there saying, "Shut the fuck up. You ain't been oppressed like me." Meanwhile, these same black trans people are shutting down the candidacy, support for the candidacy of Salamander Brandy, a black trans mayoral candidate running in Memphis, Tennessee, where Tyree Nichols just died, cited by Justin Pearson because they're protecting the money trail for the white leaders at the head of the movement. I'm dead serious. I'm telling you right now that the trans people are being caught. Unfortunately, I know there's people who watch me who are anti-trans because of the bullshit that's going on. I'm telling you right now that this is manufactured by the people at the top to make them just the way Koreans were victimized during the LA riots, which also is not talking about the Asian American curriculum. There is no activism to stop the elimination of Palestinians from history, from the Asian American curriculum that is now mandatory in New York City schools. There is no activism on that front. Some activism is allowed to happen. You're allowed to go outside to the streets and make a lot of noise. What you're not allowed to do is interfere with their tampering with the history books. What you're not allowed to do is gang up with other people that are victims of war, like Russians, Ukrainians, Congolese, victims of genocide right now that are not being acknowledged. Why? Because the Palestinian movement is more highly controlled. If you've been with the Palestinian movement for some time, you can't find the evidence now. Maybe I'll go back and find it. There's a lot of Palestinian support groups that are based out of Israel that are there sucking up the money right? Remember, if you know the history, Netanyahu did a lot of work with Hamas, right? Yeah, there was funneling of money, and there's a lot of controlled opposition going on. But this is not acknowledged by groups like this. Hey, Miss, if you have a moment, please, yeah? The activism is controlled, just like the Puff Daddy world is controlled. I'm going to tell you right now that there's people in the Congo that are victims of genocide right now. Why aren't they getting together with the Palestinians? Because the white gatekeepers are preventing this from. I'm not saying all white people bad. There's plenty of black liberals that are in league with them. Miss, this is once again, folks. I'm gonna tell you right now that I'm sorry to say, folks. They're gonna put a black face up there, and they're gonna say that black face is someone you could trust. Nope. And I'm documenting both sides of this, right? Some black people's helping me, right? Actually, no white people have been really willing to stand up to the power yet. Really vocally, or like, risk their job and other things like that. They're not willing to go to those lengths. They're not willing to give all. I'm waiting for the first one. Some people, they have actually provided some monetary support, which I appreciate. Not saying they all, but Christopher Leon Johnson, Mutia John Musaber, Reverend Keith Gatz, and Nolan Farrell, right? Yeah, shout outs to them. They've actually backed my work. Thank you so much, yeah? People in public housing, Carmen Canones, thanks for having my back. There's conservatives and people on the progressive and communists that support me. Thus, James Nettleson from the communists. Honestly, I can't stand most communists. Because most communist organizations have a white millionaire at the top, and there's no regional leaders. There's no elections, nothing. It's controlled opposition, 100%. I'm telling you right now, you saw me at the protesting the DEI thing. The pretty faces, they are in league with the money. There's an exchange going on there. And some people are not allowed in. Some people do not get access. They want to get into the VIP. I'm not VIP. I'm the little person. I'm the person that gets shut out of VIP. But I form my own VIP with my people outside. You have your VIP inside with your plush drinks and all that money and stuff. We're going to be outside where there's no cover charge at all. And we're just going to have it based off of talent and accomplishments. That's my VIP. And I'm telling you right now that the anti-war activism is weaponized against victims like myself. Thanks for watching, folks. If you got any comments right now, I'm looking right now. I'm going to shut this down soon because honestly, you could see I could be out here for hours. I've been making a lot of noise. You saw them fiddling with the door. I'm making too much noise. They're uncomfortable with it. But you can see that the problem, once again, is American society. And other countries also have this as well. The bourgeois of all the countries are like this. Is America uniquely bad? I'm telling you right now, laws and policies cannot change this. President Biden and Trump cannot change this. Malcolm X said we wouldn't need laws if people were good. We need laws because people are not good. What we need is a societal change. We need these people to acknowledge that war victims are being excluded, but they don't want to do that. Because without power, there is no justice. Without power, there's no justice. And right now, inside, there's performers right now that are performing. I don't have to be against them. I could be a part of this. Why aren't I? Hey, Miss, you guys sticking to learn about truth about anti-war activism? I'm telling you that a lot of anti-war activism is controlled. Thank you for listening, man. You'd be the first one. I would really appreciate it.
I have to go, but thank you.
You gotta go. She almost listened. I almost had my first one. I've been doing this for 25 years, folks. 25 years. More people seeping in. I think we got another one coming in. We got another, we call them hipsters, I think. We got another hipster walking in. Hipster activism. Let's go. Yep. Hey, find out the truth about anti-war activism. I'm not saying it's all bad, but it's definitely not all good. The reason why the anti-war is failing is because there are gatekeepers that are controlling what portion of the action succeed and what portions fail. Actual mobilization and actual solidarity with other war victims is not permitted. What is permitted is some type of, making noise in the streets to be heard by elected officials. Who are they making the noise for? They could be elected. The only candidate from the 69th district in Columbia, right? Yeah? I'm telling you, these professors that have sold out their students' futures are in on it. You should not trust these professors. You should trust war victims. You should trust people that are actually poor. You should trust other people that's been with you, not the ones that they give you. Who gave that teacher a job? Hey, what's up, folks? I want to find out the truth about anti-war activism. Listen, it's controlled just like Puff Daddy rule. It's funny, right? Yeah, I'm telling you. They laugh at me. You know why? Because I don't look like an activist. You saw it for yourself, folks. So I'm actually, we've been out here for about an hour. This is the sad truth for, now they got a white DJ in there. White people get to be part of it because they bring their money. They bring their markets. I understand why black people would want that. So let this be a message out to all the Asian Americans, all the Arabs, etc. Right? Yeah? Some black people is helping, but they're not all your friends, straight up. I'm going to say that Asians and Arabs like that too. Some of them selling out for the money. I made this whole display right here. I got starving children in North Korea. Look at how skinny they are. No one sang for us. If our problems are not acknowledged, then they don't have to fix them. That's why they used to that's why they had some Aunt Jemima looking happy slave, right? Yeah, oh, I'm singing and stirring up master's pancakes. This is a jolly old life. I'm not suffering. I don't really need justice because I'm not really suffering. This is the myth that they like to portray. And when we ask for solidarity or other things that could make a change, like changing the law that allowed the media to actually get rid of, right now the media doesn't have to actually show the pictures of our suffering on the news. But things like that would make a difference, those things are not allowed to actually occur. Nope. Those changes are not, there will be no action on those fronts. There will be no action to actually change those conditions that actually are causing the ongoing suffering and the ongoing victimization of my people and other war victims all around, including blacks. But the bougie blacks are in on it. Bougie liberals, they got no time for us. So watch them all walk in. Hey, miss, you got a minute to hear about anti-war activism, the truth about anti-war activism? Hey, miss, this is the truth right here. This is serious stuff. She looks like a cool person. She looks like someone who you might want to be friends with. You want to be friends with a dude like me? Oh my God. Hey, miss, find out about the truth about anti-war activism. Why do you think anti-war activism fails? Because just like Puff Daddy rules, some of it is allowed to go forward, but some of it is prevented. Let's take a look at Columbia University. You can see thousands of students getting together, right? Here's the actual numbers. 7,000 votes for Michael last year, 4,500 for the nearest competitor. The 69th district, there was no mobilization of the actual student body to actually win the election. Instead, it's all controlled and they just make a lot of noise. I'm not saying that's bad, but certain activism is allowed to succeed and certain activism is forced to fail. One thing that I would thank you for listening so much to me. You're the first one, yeah? Just so you know, over here, and I'm actually live streaming. Just so you know, folks, right? Yeah, a white person was the first one to stop. Yeah, just so you know. A lot of people want to say bad things about white people. Sometimes there is some imbalance, but just so you know, not all white people is bad. I said this before. I'm gonna say it again. White person was the first one to stop. This is history. Thank you so much. Yeah. So you can see over here that at this talking about real path to peace in Ukraine. Noam Chomsky, you know these names, like they're famous. Jill Stein, right? Yeah, Brian Beck and Medea Benjamin. Why are there no Russians or Ukrainians? Isn't that weird? Also, at events like this, right, I'm gonna tell you, like, Palestinians should be in league with Koreans because our country was also manipulated after World War II with the governments. So we have our first Korean American legislators like Ron Kim, Linda Lee, Grace Lee, right, City Council. They could actually pass a resolution that just happened in Chicago where they said ceasefire or actually just stop this whole Palestine nonsense. But instead of engaging them, right, anytime that I try to get work done in that fashion, it's shut down and shut off. That's why the anti-war movement fails. This is actually a guy running for president of Namibia, the place of the Second Reich, which ended in 1918 at the end of World War I, right? And the genocide of the Namibians is not acknowledged. Some history is, they're recreating history to make sure that certain issues go forward and certain issues are stifled. destroyed. And just to match, I didn't mention this yet, but you see Scott Ritter, he's actually a 2-time convicted pedophile. He's being inserted and lifted up in the anti-war movement. The same thing as Puff Daddy wrote, it's mad crooked. You know what I mean? So thank you for listening, ma'am. My name's djelf7. If you want to find out more, I'm working on the longest monthly car spent in state and national history.
So from your viewpoint, do you feel like this level
Okay, the thing is that right here, they're having a fundraiser for Palestinian families that just have been paused for a long time. Maybe it's helping actual Palestinian families that hope so. There's a lot of groups that were actually based in Israel that said they were supporting Palestine, and I have actually footage of that from before. Like I said, some activism is allowed to go forward, like making noise on the street. But activism to actually win elections, that's all suppressed. Actions like to gain, like if you look up right now, the Congo is complaining about genocide right now, Congo. Why aren't the Congo and the Palestinians and the Koreans getting together, Vietnamese getting together? Because it's actually stopped by a lot of people who's at the top of the movement, who's actually specifically stopping. So all the energy sucked into these kinds of events, but prevented from actually going to, I'm a war victim, I'm Korean American. I've been working for 25 years as an activist because of what happened to me personally. I'm not saying that, right, and once again, it shouldn't, my priorities shouldn't be their priorities. All they need to do is realize that this kind of thing where only millionaires are really coming into the movement and pushing war victims aside, something stinks. And when you go inside, right, notice who's performing there and look at my body of work, working with the wrongfully incarcerated, some belongs to the New York State, and with people with disabilities, right? We actually got the New York State Disabilities Chair reinstated after Andrew Cuomo got rid of it. We got it reinstated under Hochul. I work with all the communities left behind, people in public housing. This name right here, Carmen Canona, she would have been the first tenant associate of public housing in the United States history, in New York State history, to an elected office. That could cause a mobilization amongst poor people, but they don't talk about that at all. The narrative is highly controlled. So I'm not saying, once again, white people and bougie people can be part of it. I don't know if you're bougie, right? You stop for me, so then maybe not, but the thing is that it's okay for them to be part of it, it's not okay for them to replace us. They're gentrifying activism. You know what I mean? So thank you for listening. Yeah, I'll give you a business card. Here's another crazy thing, right? Yeah. Shout out to Salamander Brandy. Salamander Brandy was the first trans male candidate running for office in Memphis, Tennessee, where Tyler Nichols just died. I had actually, I can show you right now. I have footage with her, right? Yeah. But the thing is that they're using black trans people at the Palestinian movements to shut down war victims like myself. So if I try to say something, there'll be a black trans person, installed by millionaire leadership to tell me to shut up. But when I try to get money to help Salamander Brandy with her race, where Tyler Nichols just died and she was cited by Justin Pearson. Okay, he was a Tennessee legislator who was kicked out of office, and then all the politicians here, AOC, etc., ran down there to take pictures with Justin Pearson, and then he got reinstated. Justin Pearson even mentioned Salamander Brandy on his induction ceremony, because that's what kind of activist she is. But to keep the money flowing into their coffers, they don't want Salamander Brandy to get any donations, so they silence all talk about her work. So it's a conspiracy, straight up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Thank you. I'm actually banned from the event because the thing is that certain people. I'm sorry to tell you, I don't know how connected they are, but they don't want to hear from war victims, and it's ridiculous. I have an office here, and I'm actually protesting this event. Not saying they all bad, once again, right? But the leadership has certain people they want to hear from, and certain people they don't. And how ridiculous is it that a war victim cannot actually, right? I have certain perspectives and understandings from being an activist. You can see my body of work. I have U.S. presidential candidate debates that I had weekends ago. You can look up on djelf7.com. You can see me working with, once again, people, public housing. Disability is the second largest minority voting block in the nation. I have worked with them, but instead of allowing me to talk to people and mobilize them once again in this way, and actually tell them to start voting and stuff like that, they don't want that. So, they're right to protect their interests. I'm not saying they're wrong, but we can work together. You don't have to allow them, right? If they don't give me a spot inside, hey, that's okay, because I'll be outside and I'll look for other people that are willing to listen. Thank you so much. God bless. Thank you. Got the first one right there, folks. That's amazing. Yeah. Thank God. Yeah. That's what this is about. Yeah. Look, I might pack it up soon because I'm out everywhere. I gotta do all the work though. I don't have any volunteers with me. You know what I mean? I've been working with a lot of cats for a long time. And you want to find out about the truth about the anti-war activism movement? There's a lot of control going on, just like Puff Daddy world. Some activists are allowed to proceed forward and win. Some activists never allowed to win. I have some examples right here, yeah? Check it out right here. You see all this thousands of students gathering at Columbia University? Yeah? Yo, actually, yo, I just wanted to show the camera that you're actually the second person who stopped today, like in the hour, and you're a black guy. I appreciate that, right? The first person stopped was a white person, but okay, so thousands of people getting together, but the only candidate supported, Michael Lasher, who was supported by the Israel Solidarity Pact, won the race. They got these kids out here doing stuff to be seen on TV, and we don't have them actually mobilizing to win races. I'm a war victim. I'm Korean American. The thing is that they also have sung "We Are the World, We Are the Children." These black artists also complain about how the whites were abusing them later on, and there was no Asian Americans participating there. They're using blackface for a lot of bullshit, and Malcolm X talked about the group message to the grassroots. Let me tell you another thing, like, while I support Palestine, the fact of the matter is that Namibians, they're the victims of the Second Reich. You can see right here, the Second Reich ended in 1918. But the thing is that we don't care about them because the victims are black. You know what I mean? If they, right, think about that, right? Namibians, they're the victims of the Second Reich, which ended at the end of World War I. Not that long ago. They say never forget. Namibians should be working with Palestinians, should be working with Koreans and people in Congo, and we're crying about genocide. We're not. Why? Because the gatekeepers are not, just like the Puff Daddy world, they're preventing us from working together. They're selling us off, yeah? Find out about my work. I'm working for the longest long professor in New York State and national history. You'll see Mutio Jamo Sebu, direct tie to Muju Jamal. Shout me out and take on Cornell West. He's part of this, I'm sorry to say. He with the gatekeepers. Cornell West was actually with promoting Revolt TV, just so you know. There's a lot of, they take these fake actors, man. Thanks for listening.
No, of course, man.
God bless.
God bless.
Got a second one right there. Amazing. Yeah, look, some people are actually listening. So we're going to keep going. You know what I mean? Some activists get put on the mic. Some activists make their own fucking mic. That's what's up. I'm not saying they all bad, but they cannot gentrify activism. That's what's up. I'm telling you that I'm saying some real shit right here. Hey, mister, you got a minute to hear about the truth about anti-war activism? Just the way the entertainment world is controlled and gatekept, the anti-war activism world is also controlled and gatekept, I'm sorry to say. What's up, brother? You know my man Aker? You know Harrison? No? Hopefully not with PSL. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the Asian brother has no time for this. It's all good. It's all good. But I'm Korean. He probably Chinese. A lot of the Chinese, they experience their own horrors, something called the Cultural Revolution, where they identified that academics are often in league with the establishment. This is not talked about by these academic leaders that are out here hurting these kids into inefficient activism, that are hurting these kids into losing battles. I'm not saying that these protests are bad, but where is the actual right, the solidarity with other groups that have been victimized? This is being prevented. And they try to use black faces as a trump card. Look, do you see how skinny this girl is right here? Do you see how skinny? Do you see these ribs right here? Okay, this is the reality of a Korean American, the famine that occurred. This is the reality of our suffering that is not acknowledged in this country. Because once again, if they don't have to acknowledge the suffering, they can actually build resentment against us and make us targets for. And I'm going to say there's a lot of lies about the Asian hate thing. They say stop Asian hate. They're trying to weaponize black and Asian American communities against each other. That's serious. Hey, sir, you got a moment to hear about the anti-war activism and about the truth about it? I'm telling you the reason why the anti-war activism is failing is because it's being set up. They got the kids out there doing these protests in the street. Meanwhile, they don't have them mobilizing. Look at the race that happened in the 69th district where Columbia is. It's right here on this map right here. Instead of mobilizing to win the race, the one candidate who was supported by the Israel Pact won the race. Why? Because instead of having the kids mobilize and win an election, right? Listen, I'm a survivor of revolution. A lot of the white millionaire socialists, they want to promote revolution. They never survive violence like me. Never. But these people don't believe that I've suffered. They don't believe that I'm a child of revolution, even though I ran away from home at the age of 16. That doesn't get on the movies or in the news. The reality of the violence that I had to face, they don't acknowledge it. So we're lesser than. We're weaker versions of white people. There's as long as there's someone below them to kick, they don't care. Hey, miss, you got a minute to listen about anti-war activism? I really appreciate it. I saw you pausing. Hope you heard some of what I had to say. It's real stuff.
I was waiting to come in. I was just having
Oh,
a
yeah?
phone call.
I was
So
scary.
I'm
Yeah, make all that noise? Okay.
No, you didn't.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I just
I'm
had
saying
to
real
say-
stuff. Okay, go.
No,
Keep the
I
call. All right, good
know
luck.
you are. I was just
Sure. Sure.
here to listen.
I hope so. Thank you. The fact that the anti-war movement is being controlled, yeah? Just like Puff Daddy world, the political space is more controlled than that. Hey, folks, you got a moment to listen about the truth about anti-war activism? I'm going to tell you why it's failing, yeah? Like, listen, look at there's no war victims. That guy looked Arabic. Maybe they, you know what I mean? They don't need it. They don't need someone like me. All my life, I don't look like an activist. That's okay. I'm telling you right now, the people that you don't, there was a time when this country would not acknowledge the existence of black scientists like Louis Latimer. A lot of these people want to listen to some rich person who's or some celebrity who says something that's easy to listen to. They not listen to. That's a huge sign. Look at my body of work in activism and anti-war activism specifically, and ask yourself why I am actually right. Yeah, I'm a DJ. Because the DJ inside is connected to the people who will probably own the building or stuff like that, and they're going to have a gig. Because the true priority is not actually addressing these issues. That would be my priority because I'm a war victim. Right? Show me the body of work of the DJ that's on right now. Show me his body of work as he's confronting anti-war issues. Show me the body of work. Hey, miss, you got a minute to listen? I really appreciate it.
I'm running inside.
Oh, you're running inside? Look, I'm a victim of war. Yeah, I'm living in America.
Sorry, I'm working inside.
Okay, all right. It is what it is, yeah? Oh, here's another interesting thing that I just took off of here. Notice that what's not being talked about right here is that Lucian Grange, right, head of Universal Music Group, the lawsuit against him has been dropped. What? He didn't know what was going on? Are you serious? Come on, he never got a complaint? Are you crazy? Just the way, right, yeah? I'm not saying Puff Daddy's innocent, but they're playing games right here. And the white leadership is not being held accountable, straight up and down. Where's the war victims at? Where's the war victims? Congo, they're crying about the genocide right now. Right now. Go look it up, Google it right now. It should be working solidarity, but someone's preventing that from happening. That's why we cannot win these anti-war issues. I'm a victim of war. Me. Homeless at the age of 16. Why do you think I devoted my whole life to activism? But instead of featuring me, they're going to have some DJ playing En Vogue. Hey, you know what? I guess he's cool. Okay. Free your mind, right? Go ahead. I got that on my activist playlist too. Hey folks, check it out. I have some to tell about anti-war. It's not everything it seems, yeah? The fact of the matter is that 71% of Koreans, South Koreans, want to have nuclear bombs. How about that? 71% because of this disregard. I'm going to tell all the countries of Africa and Asia that I'm talking to right now. I'm going to tell every single one of you, you should do not allow any of these international bodies to tell you to denuclearize. Develop your own weapons. You cannot trust these people to take care of you. There are some of them. They're the minority. There's some of them, the minority, yeah? So I like to tell you about the truth about anti-war activism, just the way the entertainment world is controlled. Hey, thanks for listening. So right here, check it out. You see all these thousands of people at the Columbia campus? So think about it, right? Here's the race. You see, this is the map of the 69th district of Columbia College right there. The state election race, the only candidate, Michael Lasher, who's supported by the pro-Israel Solidarity Pact, won the race. Acting is allowed to happen with the protest. It's not allowed to go forward with actual mobilization. Right now, New York City has the first many Queen American person representing like Ron Kim, going to lead
Grace Lee, Julie won. Korean Americans are on the same timeline for justice as the Palestinians. Why don't you hear about them at the anti-war rallies? Look at this anti-war rally for peace in Ukraine, right? Noam Chomsky, famous names, Jill Stein, Lydia Benjamin, Claudia De La Cruz, right? Yeah. There's no Russians or Ukrainians at this panel. War victims are prevented again and again from participating in the leadership or at these events too, at the Palestinian war events, right? You might maybe see a Palestinian Navy, and then you see no Koreans, Russians, Ukrainians talking about who do you think has been working? I've been actually for 25 years working on this issue. That's how I know about these races right here. And you can see my body work from 2021. Right? Yeah, I have work going back way past that. Right now, this is called the Asian American curriculum. You can look up called Hidden Voices. If you decide to search for the word Palestine, P-A-L-E-S-T, you can look it up on your phone right now. They are erasing Palestinians and Palestine from history. And the mandatory Asian American curriculum, notice that there is no activism on that front. There's no funding for that. There's no recognition of this work. Certain things, a little visible, show of resistance to make people think that things are okay and being done. Real things are being shot down and not being allowed to move forward. This is why and you can see 71% of South Koreans now would support the return nuclear weapons to their country, even if it means developing their own, endangering our planet. But this is not being acknowledged. To serve people at the top like this who are making money off the move, that's serious. Thank you for listening. Yeah. Look, I'm not. This is after President Namibia. You see, like the Namibia, the second Reich, where it ended in 1918, the end of World War I. They had a genocide but we don't recognize them because they're black. We say never forget. You can see this is an interview that I have with a guy running for president of Namibia. Right now, there's a genocide in the Congo. Why aren't we working together with Palestinians? It's real weird, isn't it? Because I'm telling you, just like the Puff Daddy world, it's gate kept. They allow certain things to win, certain things not.
Thank you. I feel like I've heard a lot in the same conversations, but I think it's also tough because you don't want to dilute, one specific event with everything that's happening. It's like you need something in each of those, but it's tough to
look at this, even this event today, right? Yeah, look, I believe that the lady means well, but why am I not being allowed to speak at today's event? Isn't that I'm a war victim as a Korean American? My people starved during the time of We Are the World, We Are the Children. You can see the starvation. Look how skinny she is.
Yeah.
This was never acknowledged. The perspective that we understand and know from being victims of war, who do you think is going to be more devoted to actually making a change on this cause? And who's been working on it longer? Show me the body of work that the people inside have had worked on. So I'm not saying that they're not welcome to be a part of it, but they cannot replace us. They're gentrifying activism to enrich certain communities at the expense of others. Thank you for listening.
Have you tried to organize?
Oh,
and,
I have
people,
good presidential candidate debates. I'm working with some of the long talks I transmitted in New York State and nation's history. I can show you which is John Segru. It's a direct country Jamal. Actually, Pennsylvania is probably the most important swing state in this particular election coming up. Actually confronted Cornel West on my behalf. I'm sorry to say that Cornel West is part of this whole garbage.
Yeah.
They're taking the famous people that you know, right? Yeah, like this, and they're making them celebrities. This is talk about message to the grassroots, but people with depth, yeah. I have the only third-party independent candidate debates for the 21 election cycle, but certain people are suppressed and they won't allow you to find out about it. Like an event right here. I'm not even allowed in this one. I have an office in this building. It's been decided that I cannot. What? Isn't that weird? Look at my body of work. You're gonna see. As a Korean American, of course, I'm really dedicated to this fight anti-war. I was host to the HCC, the Violence Experience, that is not acknowledged by this country. All the pictures of war and video of war that happened during the Vietnam War that horrified American people so much that they had to stop the war. Now they don't show those pictures anymore. Now it's like bombs getting off with rock music and stuff. Instead of mobilizing to help change those things back, you got people out here doing protests, but they will not acknowledge the things that we're saying. Let me tell you another shiesty thing. I'm a supporter of trans people, just as Korean American. I mean, if they're being targeted the way that my people were targeted during the LA riots. But they use actually black trans people as a trump card to fuck us over when we try to speak out at the war rallies. Salamander Brandy, a historical, I don't know if you remember Justin Pearson, who was kicked out of office in Tennessee, got reinstated.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, in his inauguration speech, he recognized Salamander Brandy as trans activist that I worked with from Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah.
While she was running, you could see the evidence on my channel. We had a discussion panel after Tyre Nichols' death, and other activists around the country, including Pennsylvania and LA. Instead of gathering money for her black trans people and the white leadership over here, right? So white people help them too, but but the socialist millionaire leadership here, they got black people involved too, but you should here. In horrible collaboration, they silenced all information about her campaign so they could monopolize the money for themselves. Why aren't you, right? Think about it. If they're really supporting black trans people, aren't there black trans people running in other states? And why is right? Yeah, I have acted over like 60 candidates around the nation. I have mostly had interviews in YouTube history. You can look at the channel. I only have 1,000 subs. It is what it is. I've asked every single one of them, right? Why we care about trans in sports? Why don't we care about the unfair they face in career or in their housing discrimination? It's all concentrated in sports. One time they win, we're gonna fuck them up, but all the time they lose and we don't give a shit. Like, fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, let them win once. I'm not saying I'm not saying they don't have fair. I do think that they maybe have enough fair advantage, but I'm saying why do we only care when they win? Like, it's the double standards is really fucked up. So we're not talking. They're controlling the narrative once again, and they're in league together. People that's supposedly on your side, defending the trans people, they're not opening the conversation up to talk about real shit. They're keeping it around. Oh, look at them. They're against trans people because it's completely fake. It's some puff daddy shit for real. They're working together. So thanks for listening today. If you want to look at my body of work, we can mobilize together. I'm actually. I have U.S. president's candidates. I have a mailing list. I'm doing a lot of activism. We actually got the disabilities coordinator real estate reinstalled after a month of protesting in City Hall with Mark Stafford. We had a study on accessible pedestrian signals that we did on 40 seconds. We did that on 40 seconds. Always those things that we push, like, disabled people can't hear it. That's 40 seconds by Port Authority. There's no accessible pedestrian signal on that avenue or in Mulford, and also on by the library area. They have a couple by Grand Central, but you can see the evidence on my channel. It's crazy how much of the things are not talked about. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Please, yeah. And if you want to mobilize, there's something called county committee. How can you make a change? The thing is that who controls ballot crossing? The judges. That's something called state committee ballot committee. They don't talk about. But you could run for county committee in your area and then actually start to take control. And then we have the voter database. If you want to make a change, I can give you a list of all the voters who registered in your 2-block radius. You can go there and and I can do that in my area too. If you want to get something done in coalition, they don't tell you about that, but this is actually just it's free, but we've actually chopped it up so it's more management at database. So if you really want to do something, then hit me up.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
God bless.
Have a good one.
We're breaking through, folks. It ain't easy. Thank you again. Yeah, thank you. All right, so all that stuff I said about American society maybe it wasn't completely all off. Yeah, maybe some people in American society do care. Once again, it shouldn't be their priority, right? Can I have all the same priorities? But the key thing, which I should have left them with, is right, and I want everybody to walk away from this, is the victims of the system, the people who are impacted by the system, must be a part of the conversation. You cannot. I don't give a fuck how famous they are. Yeah, you must include the victims. You must and I'm not saying they get to control the whole conversation either. But they've got to be included, otherwise it's fake. Otherwise it's bullshit. Otherwise the victims are being excluded from the conversation to protect a monopolization of the resources and the access. That's what's up. I think, not talking about the Asian American curriculum, there's so much stuff going on. It's more than this. It's more than this. The truth about anti-war activism. This is the truth, folks. The actual truth about anti-war activism. Who has been affected by a war like me? I mean, the people with limbs missing. I still got all my limbs. I got some broken bones in my face, but I still got all my limbs. So, by the way, I'm gonna tell you right now that Tulsi Gabbard's fake. I'm sorry to say. She's in league with the gatekeepers. I really believed her message because she said she was an anti-war candidate. I'm in all those spaces. I'm sorry to say that she's with Nick Brana and the gatekeepers. And let this be out there. I'm telling you right now. And she's playing this whole trans victimization game. I was deep in that circle. I know her people. They've been sending them out, right? Yeah, I'm talking to Sky. Look, I know you got love for her, you know what I mean? But I'm telling you the truth, man. Why am I being excluded, Sky? I'm being excluded so that some people can control the narrative. All right, folks. So look, this is going till 6 o'clock. Am I be here till 6 o'clock? 10 more people going into the event. Have I said everything on this sheet right here? This is pretty expansive. Oh, I did tell you about the sex predator that they're putting into the anti-war movement. These people are sick. These people are, yeah. Oh, what's up? You got a moment here about the anti-war activism? About the realities about it? Okay, thanks. I really appreciate it. Just a moment, yeah? I'm the actual war victim. I'm an American, no? Okay. Sir, I'm an actual war victim. I'd like to show you some truths about anti-war activism. If you have a moment, sir. Yes, yes. Thank you for listening, sir. So the thing is that you might have heard about Puff Daddy and stuff. There's a lot of narrative control going on, and this is actually happening in the political movement as well. Right now, you can see thousands of people gathering in Colombia. That's cool, okay? But the thing is that activists here is allowed to happen, but actual mobilization, right, where they could actually, you can see that Colombia is here in the 69th district. The New York State Assembly is the only candidate, Michael Lasher, who is supported by the pro-Israel Solidarity Pact, won the race for it because these students are not being mobilized. Some activists allowed to occur, other activists was prevented. That's why the anti-war movement was banned. The thing is that you can see over here, this event with a lot of famous faces like Noam Chomsky, Jill Stein, Leah Benjamin. The thing is that there's no war victims, not even white war victims, Russians, Ukrainians, Koreans, Vietnamese. Right now, you look at the Palestinians, they should be working with Koreans, they should be working with Congo, they're complaining about genocide going on in the country right now. Why are they not working together? The people at the top are preventing us from working together. You see what I mean? Look at the first Korean American electeds like Grace Lee, Ron Kim, Linda Lee, Julie Won. These are all Korean man first. They should be supporting the Palestinian movement, but there's no pressure on them on this issue because the gatekeepers are preventing this from going forward. I have many years of work on this topic. People say I'm Zionist, it must be crazy. And the fact is that 71% of South Koreans have supported the return of nuclear weapons to their country because of the disregard that that the anti-war community has for the actual war victims that I've been actually emailing to their country. This is actually the president, a guy running for president of Namibia. You can look at this. The victim of the Second Reich. You say you never forget. The Second Reich ended in 1918 at the end of World War I. You can see that they were genocided too. Why aren't the Namibians actually supporting with the Palestinians? Because I'm telling you that the gatekeepers are working to make sure that some actively lose war, but some actively fail. A lot of times they use black faces, like in this We Are the World. We Are the World did not include any Asians whatsoever, even though Chinese are 1/4 of the world population. That's just one subsection of Asians. And a lot of black people go on to cry about the discrimination and the weird things going on. Let's take a look at how they're changing the history. If you look at Hidden Voices, this is mandatory New York City curriculum right now. If you do a search for the word P-A-L-E-S-T, you can see there is no mention of the word Palestine or Palestinian, even though Edward Said invented the term Oriental and Orientalism. The thing is that our history is being rewritten, so while this looks like activism, right, yeah, they're actually controlling, making sure that certain other critical things fail, and they're setting up future for failing and re-educating the community to change the narrative and to make sure that we remain forever losers. So maybe, I understand that we shouldn't all have the same colors on the war. That's why I'm so passionate, because I'm going to act for 25 years long, all for the parts of that university, U.S. history. Keith Lencom was Sabre, Reverend Keith Gadsden. I'm also working with the disabled, the second largest minority voting bloc in the nation. I'm going to do president's candidate debates, but I'm not speaking here today. It's kind of weird. And this constant work, right? I'm shutting up people like this guy right here, has led to 71% of South Koreans now support the return of nuclear weapons to their country. While y'all are having these kinds of events right here, thinking that you're going forward, meanwhile, the bitterness and resentment of activists like myself is really increasing dramatically. And I've actually, just so you know, I have the admins on my channel emailing.
Password with these Palestinians. It won't show up.
There's no record of Palestinian curriculum. And I can tell you right now.
And you're sending. Okay.
I don't know his book, but if you go to Hidden Voices, mandatory
Okay.
The thing is, you know who Grace Lang is? She's a vice chair of the DNC. She's probably the highest ranking Asian American, elected official, and she's on the House of Representatives, but she only New York City has 2 seats on the Democratic National Committee. She's very powerful. Her district's in Forest Hills, which is the largest Israeli supporter and one of the largest backers. I have this on the video thing. They changed the numbers now to have to give her a bigger thing. Basically, traditionally, the largest supporters are actually Israeli-backed companies, and she has all the other Asian American. I said John Liu and Grace Lee are part of this particular curriculum and enabling this thing. This also relates to this one was set up to fight, stop Asian hate. And you know that's to weaponize black and Asian against each other, but they don't talk about the LA riots. You know the LA riots were actually, I don't think about Rodney King and about how Twins were victimized. And
I
how
studied international justice in college, so I'm like here.
Thank God you know. Thank God you know.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah,
working on
very-
the Palestine issue for years, and no one is there. I bet you no one didn't control my body and length of work. And work on the issue. I don't know if you see that since 2021. I go back further. I had with President had debates on the issue. You know what I mean? They're controlling the whole. They're even injecting war, literally sex, two-time convicted pedophile, fucking Scott Ritter into the anti-war movement. This is being greenlighted by Jill Stein. You see it all the time. Oh, I'm for Palestine. But she's shutting people like me out.
Yeah.
She's no savior. I'm telling you that. She's part of the controlled opposition. Yeah. Nice. There's more to it, but you know.
No, obviously.
Right. What, do you have any actually that you work in or that you passionate about?
No, I struggle, honestly. And not to say, like, I think all awareness is good. Like, this, you're here, and this is here, and people are coming in here, people are coming up here, people are coming up here. Like, this is working together. You know what I mean? Like, this is together.
I'm not saying they
So-
all bad, right?
No,
But,
no, no, yeah, but, like, it's, like, not, this isn't everyone's job. Like, not everyone can do this. So it's important that we have people to do it, and also to do this, too. Because not everybody, you know, like, it's, you can't
access.
expect yourself
You need
to
access.
and it just spark speaking more passionate and
we go around to bring races, not to actually change the curriculum. So we're set up for long-term failure. Well, let me tell you that. Let me tell you how I'm weaponizing. This, because the thing is that now, I've been doing this for 25 years. So now the thing is that I'm working with some of the longest long-term presidents in the state in national history. And also, like, you know, the parents of Gavin Simpson who died at these houses, which caused the resignation of National Chair and CEO Greg Russ. And also people who are deaf-blind, and we're actually taking this to international courts. On September, when Trump is sentenced, we're going to go in front of the courthouse and talk about how Republicans and Democrats have let us down, and how instead of taking care of us, they're focusing on fighting each other for power, while we're literally dying out here. By the way, you're interacting today. Earlier, I invited. The problem is American society to disregard and allowing this to happen. But now there's actually been a parade of people to come by. So I'm actually sending this to, once again, leaders around the world, so you can see how the American people are really reacting, and matters that once again war victims are excluded. Wake up and start going through this and saying, you know what? I could be a part of that inside.
Yeah, no, we're gonna look back at this and say, how did we let this happen? And then this is gonna all around.
We got, you know,
And this I'm super passionate about, so I'm actually working as a TA next week. I feel like very soon I'm inspired.
Thank you.
Justice studies curriculum. So I'm like coming in with a lot of
I have a lot of topics to work on.
tools.
That's great.
Yeah.
You got my card, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'll send you. I'm actually contacting LA's from things from LA.
Yeah.
Radio Korea was the one that was organizing
Wow.
the LA riot. So I actually am emailing them personally. I also have the emails for the people from Bridge Coalition, which is off for this thing, and I can put you on this email to all those people. Because they're trying to pretend like my shit is not happening. But the more people I can email and see so they can see that it's happening.
Yeah. At least, and like again, like you're still making an impact even if someone hears me. Like just
Thank you.
you know, like
I hope so.
and win moves win. So like
We'll see.
but it was nice talking to you. I
Thank
have to
you.
put this away.
God bless.
Let's take this.
Thank you for listening. God
Have
bless.
a good day. Stay cool, drink water.
Thank you, thank you. All right, folks. So before I was very, you know, saying things like, you know, you can't trust American society, but you know, honestly, I am American, and I'm not right. Some people say, oh, go Russia, go. I'm American, and you know, there are some good people out here. So I am American, and you know, I'm not really trying to put that down. There are some problems here. There's a lot of bullshit still going on. I'm still not in there yet, right? They could still organize, come out and say, hey, what's up? You come on in. It's not happening yet. It is what it is, right? But at least some people listening. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. A lot of people. We have blacks and whites listening. We have not had any Asian Americans listening yet. Zero. I'm telling you, Asian Americans are rewarded for backstabbing each other, and they don't want to be seen as being with me. So where are the Asian Americans at?
Still waiting for the first one. It is what it is. I'm sorry to say. It's kind of tragic, but it's just that's just the reality. That's the reality of this activism right here. So this is the truth about anti-war activism, folks. Not everything is as it seems, right? Yeah, there's a reason why anti-war activism is failing on a regular basis. Most of the Americans want anti-war activism, but they're allowing the fake shit to take over. You know, Americans love fake food. They love fake celebrities. They love all kinds of fake shit, and they've been, you know, I think a lot of them mean well, but they've developed a taste for fake shit. I'm sorry to say, right? Puff Daddy type of shit. So, gotta wake some people up. That's a fact. All right, folks. So we got 2 people watching. We had 5 at one point. That's a record for me. Yo, what's up? We got some activists right here, right? Yeah, pulling out in the Mercedes right here. You know what I mean? Beautiful lady pulling out in the Mercedes. She got no time to listen to an anti-war activist like me. That's right. That's the real activism. I'm telling you right now. That's the marketable activism. That's the commercial activism, not me. Some activism is allowed to win. Some activism is forced to fail. That's why the anti-war movement is not winning. People is getting elected right now. Bullshit. What's up?